This is DeerTech TV. Last week on DeerTech, we traveled to Central Texas to follow a camp designed to introduce non-hunters into hunting. The Future Hunter Summit at the Lazy CK Ranch is a 5-day camp geared towards teaching individuals with zero hunting experience how to become a hunter, from shot placement to seasoning your meat. And by the end of it, each hunter will have the opportunity to gun hunt a doe. Ranch manager Alan Robinson ensures that regardless of your background or experience, the camp will teach you the importance of ethical conservation.
It makes my heart happy to see the diversity that we have in our first camp. At a 9-year-old, we have a CFO, we have an attorney, we have a couple of marketing, branding experts, we have a social media influencer, and they're all here to learn. Regardless of what your background is, we can take our knowledge and our experiences and bring in industry experts and teach people. And so when you have a diverse group like we have, it makes my heart very happy to see every single person that's here or that comes through here wants to learn how to do what we do. And they want to be hunters. So it's almost like the ego gets checked at the door, you know, and everybody's here to learn. And it doesn't matter what your skill set is, it doesn't matter what your level of education or knowledge is, or your experiences are, you're gonna pick up something, for sure. You're gonna learn, and we're gonna have fun doing it, because that's the whole point of doing any of this, is to have fun doing it. We thought that we could hold a camp where we could teach people and give them the confidence to be hunters, to be conservationists, really, because that's what hunters are. And we thought we were the perfect place to do it. Or, you know, there's a lot of good places to do it for sure. But we thought with our skill set and knowledge and what we do every day, we thought we could take people and we could teach them. And certainly anybody that comes are people that want to learn. So we're going to teach them hunter safety, first and foremost. It's about being safe. And then we're going to teach them how to shoot a rifle or a bow. We've taught them both. We're going to teach them animal husbandry, meat care, and then we're going to take them on a hunt. And we're going to let them hunt their first animal, and then we're going to teach them how to cook.
The average archer makes a handful of adjustments to shoot accurately. With most bows, hunters are used to taking it to the local bow shop to have these adjustments made. But with Elite Bow, archers are in for a brand new shooting experience. Here to tell you all about the shootability of their bows is Elite Archery representative Trent Kleberger.
Trent, let's take a minute here and talk about what makes a good bow for the average whitetail hunter.
First off, you know, brace height I think is a big deal. You know, it's the longer that is, the more forgiving it's going to be, you know, to give that hunter, because you're always going to be nervous when you're shooting, you know, so you want to make the bow as accurate as possible. So brace height will certainly help with that. So having a little longer brace height is going to make it more forgiving.
And let's take a second and explain that. So a longer brace height, it's more forgiving, meaning you can move a little bit more.
Yeah, you know, wrist torque, things like that, you know, when you're nervous and you're shaking, you know, the longer that brace height is, you know, the more forgiving the bow will be. So you're going to sacrifice maybe a little bit of speed, but certainly not enough to warrant, you know, any issues there. I would certainly take a more forgiving bow, especially on a hunting bow, than anything else.
Yeah. So that forgiveness really gives you a little bit larger margin of error.
Correct. You know, and then axle to axle, you know, that 31 to 34 inch range is great on a hunting bow. It's still long enough to get the job done, but yet small enough to where you can get around in the ground blind, or, you know, if you got brush in your tree stand or whatever. So it's very maneuverable.
Yeah, even for, you know, you and I are both big guys.
Right.
And I like it in a tree stand just because Now I don't have to worry about hitting the branches above me. I don't have to clear out that big space because it's hard to hide me. I'm going to be honest. It's hard. It's probably even harder to hide you.
Right. Yeah.
But that gives you the ability to still stay hidden and yet move. You can easily go down. You can go up. And then now as I get older, I'm hunting more out of not so much out of ground blinds, but permanent box blinds on food plots.
Yep.
In that situation, that shorter bow, first off, it doesn't take up as much room in the blind.
Yep.
And secondly, it just gives you that maneuverability. It's so much easier to function.
You bet.
So, okay, let's say I bought one of these new bows. What kind of accessories, what would make, what does a guy need? What are the necessities for accessories on a bow?
First off, especially hunting in the Midwest here, your sight is so important, in determining what you want to do. Personally, I shoot a multi-pin slider sight, so it gives me kind of the best of both worlds. So I can have 3 fixed pins and set them at, I set them at 20, 40, and 60, but a lot of guys would do 20, 30, and 40. And then if I don't have time to move that sight, I can certainly just gap shoot and still make a good quality shot. But if I want to, take a longer shot or whatever, if I need to, I have the ability to move that to whatever distance I need to do that at.
See, I'm a big proponent of practicing extreme distances. I just think it makes you such a better shot at those, 20, 30, 40-yard shots. And when I started bow hunting, a 40-yard shot was a long ways. And now, I mean, man, when that deer comes within 40, it's dead. I know it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I feel so much more confident.
Yep.
And we shoot, 80, 90, 100 yards with practice. I'm not saying I'm going to shoot a whitetail that far. I think I could, but it makes me a better shot.
Well, right. And that's the key is knowing your limitations, and knowing what you can do. And yeah, it's one thing to practice out that far. And yeah, you can make that shot, but you got to understand the situation too. And, all that deer has to do is take one step at that distance and bad things happen quick. But, most hunters realize that. So.
Well, now we already talked about, what makes a perfect bow. What would you recommend to guys?
Our flagship bow this year is called the Envision. It's a 31-inch axle-to-axle bow, so kind of fits right in that parameter we were talking about. One thing we did with this bow this year is we put a little wider limb base on it. It's extremely forgiving, like all of our bows have been in the past. Super solid back wall. It just does everything you want a hunting bow to do. With our set technology, tuning and broadhead tuning this bow is super easy. You don't need a press or anything like that. So, the hunter don't need to be running back and forth to his pro shop to be setting his bow up. He can just pretty much do it himself if he needs to. So
nice.
It's very, very easy to do.
Hi, I'm Corinne Johan Bundy with the Outdoor Group and Elite Archery. Today we're going to talk about the 2022 Elite Envision. This bow is a 31-inch axle-to-axle, but definitely doesn't feel like it. It is built with nearly 90% of the makeup being the riser, which really contributes to a nice, stable platform when you're at full draw. Additionally, this bow is crazy forgiving. Really, it won't magnify any flaws in your form you might have because it has nearly a 7-inch brace height. It's beneficial when you're in your tree stand and buck fever is taking over and you need all the help you can get. One of the things about Elite that people love is our grip. It just fits like a glove. It's got a narrower base at the top and a wider base down yonder where your hand just slides in and has repeatable accuracy components to it. This bow reaches 23.5 inches to 30.5 inches of draw length with draw length adjustments in just a 1/4 inch increments, which is lovely to just really fine tune your draw length for your shooting style. With inflation touching everything in our life, this bow skimps on nothing and offers Elite's lifetime warranty and hunt guarantee. That means if you're on a hunt, you're on location, anything happens, we will expedite a bow, get it to you the next day so that you can continue the hunt. To learn more about the Elite Envision, please visit elitearchery.com.
It's no secret that whitetails need sustainable nutrition throughout the seasons. With an average loss of up to 25 to 30% of their body weight during the winter, white-tailed deer are always on the hunt for more food sources. With demanding diets of crude fats, vitamins, lots of protein, and a touch of flavor, it's always a safe bet to include supplement feeding into your management plans in the states where it's permitted. And yep, you guessed it. Today, we're talking about the Record Rack Deer Block, loaded with irresistible wild berry aroma.
There's always controversy in the deer world. Baiting, there's either pros or they're against it. The baiters say food plots are like bait, and I disagree with that theory basically overall, because a food plot is, normally you're going to have a larger area. Mine, I like to try to have an acre. That deer can come out anywhere and start eating. It's not like they're concentrated in one small spot, but they're coming to that food source. But it's no different than an egg field. Now baiting, I could care less if a guy baits or not. I really don't care. But there are people that are totally against it because they think it's an unfair advantage. I've hunted in states you can bait. Kentucky's one of them, Kansas is another one. I've actually hunted over feeders in Texas. And you know what, I didn't feel bad about it because it's legal. And if it's legal, I say go ahead and do it. It doesn't really matter. Now I know, the states that don't allow baiting, what the theory is the baiting is going to concentrate those animals in a very, very small area. So if one of them does have a disease, they're going to transmit that disease very easily. It makes sense to me. The one thing that the food plots, because you can say that kind of does too, because you're pulling in 15, 20 deer into an acre, but what you don't realize is that ultraviolet light from the sun literally kills most of those germs. So even if you're bringing in those whitetails into that acre food plot, most of those germs are going to kill, where if you're baiting in a very small spot, the sun has to get to it, and it's so concentrated that it's not necessarily going to kill all the bacteria and all the infections. So therefore, that's another big difference in the two. But today, I'm going to talk about Record Rack's Deer Block. This thing is very flavored. So in a state, if you legally can bait, it is compressed grains. So it's good for the whitetails and other plant matter in there, but it's got 14% protein, it's got 3% crude fat, and fat is huge when you're trying to talk about the health of a whitetail. And then they're throwing in all the important minerals. It's got vitamins, got basically everything. So a lot of people are always dumping salt out or some other type of product through this time of year, or even other things that the deer like, but it necessarily doesn't do a good job giving them the minerals, everything else that they want to grow big antlers. It's attracting to them, you're getting great pictures. This does it all. The other thing that I really like about it, where it's a compressed block, it's gonna last a lot longer. So it weighs 30 pounds. I could dump 30 pounds of corn out or protein feed and put this block out, and this block is probably gonna last a month, where that food's gonna be gone within 4 days. Because the whitetail can come, or other animals can come, they can eat as much as they want. Here they're gonna come to the block, and yes, they can eat as much as they want, but it's hard enough that after a while they just get sick of working on it and they wander back off. They liked what they got, so the next day they're gonna continue to come back. For you guys that can bait, again, this is one of those products that I can dump off if I'm hunting in Kansas. I can put that block out and come back a month later, or have a friend down there throw another block out in a month, and I'm baiting that area over a long period of time, where if I'm dumping out corn or any other type of product, it's probably going to be gone within 2 or 3 days, so I have to continually dump out that product. So if you're looking for a chance to bait, this is a great product. The other thing I really like about it is, in states where you can bait and feed animals, like if I could feed these in the winter, I would absolutely love it, because I love watching whitetails come up to the house in the winter. It's would be a great opportunity to view them, see what kind of bucks you have out there. And that's the other thing, is why does a person want to put this out? I would love to do it to run my trail cameras, because I want to do my inventory. I want to find out how many fawns survival. I want to do all that information, and doing blocks or any kind of bait, corn, whatever, if you put a camera on it, it's going to give you a telling tale of what whitetails are on your property, and therefore you can plan your fall accordingly. If you're looking for a great product, check out Record Rack. This deer block is fruit flavored, or it's got a smell to it, so it's going to draw in whitetails from a long way. You won't be disappointed.
Finding the perfect location for your ground blind setup isn't always the easiest task, especially if you're like most hunters out there and you don't have all the time in the world to scout in the preseason. That's why it's important to have a blind or stand that makes it easy to be mobile when you accidentally miss the deer trail by 100 yards. Even better is finding a blind that is mobile and can withstand the elements. That's where Maverick Blinds comes in. Based in a small town in Pulaski, Wisconsin, Each Maverick blind is designed to be lightweight, compact, and to only have to be set up once. Today, Brad Rux is getting his very own Maverick delivered, and he's ready to tackle the setup.
This is the new Maverick 6-panel blind. It's actually the older model. They're updating the new one, but I just wanted to show everybody exactly how they come so you can envision this. You know, basically this thing, if you can see it well, it comes in 2 halves. And therefore it's extremely easy to maneuver anywhere you want it. They have it shrink wrapped, it's on a pallet. If you ordered multiple, they would have them stacked inside of one another. Therefore, you don't have all the huge shipping charges that you would normally get with any other kind of manufactured blind like this. This thing is the bomb. I have a couple of them at home. Super easy to put together. We're gonna show you. Basically, you slap the two halves together, one overlaps the others, and then you use screws on the inside all the way around. This already has the windows cut out, so you can install your windows if you want them on there. It is super easy, super effective, and for me, it's that price point. You know, this is below that $1,000 limit, so, you know, normally when you're looking at this type of blind, you have multiple options, right? You can go out there and buy one of the big name brand blinds, spend $2,000, $3,000. Here, I can get 2 or 3 blinds for that exact same price, and yet when I'm in the field, I'm totally out of the elements. I don't have to worry about the rain, the water's not gonna get in it, snow's not gonna get into it. The other thing, what I really like about this is, you know, if you think about your portable blinds, your pop-ups, this thing is the bomb compared to that because I don't have to worry if it's a heavy snow. It's reinforced in the ceiling. You don't have to worry about it collapsing. You don't have to worry about the stakes. The other beauty of it is it stays out there year round, so you don't have to worry about the sun. Let's face it, on the pop-ups, if you leave one of those out for the year, normally you could put your finger right through the blind itself because the sun just eats away that plastic or that material and makes it extremely weak. Check it out. This thing is good. You're going to see us put it together right now.